bitches wear because it's cheap. For me, it's some money at my table, grab a seat. For me, cost a ticket just to cover on my leave. Go fees, I don't hang with jealous bitches, that's a week. Just these, hold on, run up. If you broken in my business, then just shut up. I invested in my body, bitch, I'm done up. I look good, I like the sun when the sun up. I put on my jewelry just to go to the bodega. And I keep it with me just so that I'm feeling safer. Fendi on my body, but my feet is in bodega. Bitch, I'm getting money, give a fuck about a hater. And keep me on no bullshit, that bullshit get cool. And keep me on no hoe shit, these hoes get too bold. I'm allergic to that no shit, my wrist can't. I take my own fights to mess with my soul. White on white Bentley, I got that inch. Who tryna get near me, bitch? Stay up on my mention. Looking back, got plenty. Rex and Fendi. No time for these messy hoes. My business ain't with it. Got right now, not next. Depends all on my checks. Don't worry about who I text. Just know it ain't my ex. A lot of rich niggas ain't here. No rich niggas ain't here. When the pack landed, the check cleared. This what you hear. I put on my jewelry just to go to the bodega. And I keep it with me just so that I'm feeling safer. Fendi on my body, but my feet is in bodega. Bitch, I'm getting money, give a fuck about a hater.
All right, beloveds. Greetings. Ooh, I did not mean to do that. Anyways, um, okay. I guess we're coming in with a loud bang. Something or somebody, opportunities coming in with a loud bang. Um, Greetings again. Welcome to Muse and Magic. Thanks for stopping by my channel for yet another deep dive into your tarot journey. Um, we're going to just kind of get into it. That was Be a Whole Lot of Money, and very fitting for this time because this is your financial reading. Um, so looks like there's been some change, or there is some change on the horizon for you and your finances. I feel like this is someone who might have been, this reading is for someone who might have just been kind of a little topsy-turvy with the finances or in your finances. Things have been seeming like, I hear like one thing happening after another. It's just you've been taking a lot of hits. Maybe things you've invested in haven't quite, you know, rendered you any return yet, or maybe they were dead in the water. I don't know. These are just things that Spirit is giving me, words that are coming up. Um, but do not fret. You know, something's happening here next year in August. um, this is the time we're going into hibernation. So the card that came out was Time is Frozen, and it just kind of reminds me how when you're in hibernation mode, it's almost like time has stopped. You're resting up, you're back in the Mad Lab, you're just kind of recuperating. And honestly, I think what people are learning, or what you are learning, you know, is that which we chase is constantly escaping us, evading us, whereas that which we run from is, you know, running towards us. And so, what do you do? Where do you find a happy medium? You know what I'm saying? And how do I rest in, you know, in a space where I'm attracting what I want? It's not escaping me, but I'm also not running after it, trying to chase it down. Okay? So, what that really kind of just represents is one needing to really just take some time for respite, take some time to hibernate, take some time. And in this hibernation, this is not about you working and doing, it's more or less about you just letting go. Um, it's almost like I want to say you can accomplish more by just being present and just letting go versus feeling like you're busying yourself doing much of something going nowhere fast. Because I feel like that's the energy a lot of us are coming out of, feeling like we are constantly having to do something or doing something or called to do something or being pulled to do something. And yet we have nothing to show for it. All we have is exhaustion. We've been busy, yeah, but busy doesn't always equate to productivity. You know what I'm saying? So We have so much at our disposal right now. We're living in awesome times in spite of what's happening in the world. Where else, what other time period could you be in where you can literally have your life changed overnight, because you post one video, because you went viral, because you post one song, you know what I'm saying? And someone, where else can you be in time, where your life could just change in the blink of an eye and drastically. So I almost feel like that's something that's on the horizon for you and something that you need to understand and know. It just takes the right moment, the right time. I think I read, it's a few years back, I read the story about Teflon. Teflon, the brand. I'm not super duper familiar, but I do know it is a black owned brand, fashion brand, and also they're just really known for their $200 or $250, something like that, bag, tote bag, okay, with the logo. And this company, so to speak, has been, in existence for, I almost want to say like 20 years. It was like a long time. But the changing point was one day Oprah listed this bag and as one of her favorite things, I think in O Magazine or something. This is back during somewhere near COVID. And I hate that we have now a reference point to a pandemic. It's so crazy. But you know what I mean when I say that. So somewhere in or around COVID, 2018, 2019, something like that. And the bottom line is that one shout out drove everything up and blew everything up for this designer. And I don't know how successful they were before, but I know they had been in the game for a while. And I had never heard anything. That doesn't, I'm not a fashion guru or anything like that. But, it wasn't to me like a super big brand prior to this situation. And now I know who they are. So I don't know why I need to say this to you, but don't fret. Like, what you are seeking is seeking you. And in a moment's notice, in the blinking of an eye, like your total life, your total financial situation, your total career path, it could just change for the better. Okay. So if you are down on your luck, if you're feeling at a little bit of a place of exhaustion and I'm kind of like, oh, I'm going into hibernation because I'm tucking my tail. Don't do that. Go into hibernation because you know that you are a beast, and even the beast needs to rest and recuperate. Even Superman, even Batman, they've had to go kind of in hiding and under so they can kind of recuperate, right? From whatever their kryptonite, whatever their battle, so that they can regain, restore, brush up, tighten up, whatever they needed to do to come back with the vengeance, and so, and succeed, over the enemy. So I don't know. I just needed to say that for somebody. You needed to hear it. So here we are taking chances. Maybe someone here is taking chances, but I also feel like this is about change. There is definitely a change in your financial situation that is, it's like Spirit is telling me abrupt. It's going to be very abrupt. It's going to be so quick you're going to wonder what fucking happened. Like, what? I can't believe it. This is my life now, you know? Um Now, I wanted to get a little deeper and see about when this change may come. And for some of you, it is as quick as next week, literally, as promising and as quick as next week. I do feel like someone here is pondering on a decision. Um, and this is calling you to have courage. This is calling you to be more courageous in your decision making. Um, Business is a gamble, entrepreneurship is a gamble. You got to just, it's a roll of the dice. You know, no one understands that more than I do as an entrepreneur. I've had many businesses, many different side businesses and hustles and all of the things, some seasonal, some whatever. So I get that. Sometimes we can suffer from a bit of PTSD when things don't typically turn out the way we planned and we've invested all this money. And oh my God, think about people who've invested in the stock market, invested in crypto, and You know what I'm saying? Um, think about the people who might have invested in things that were going up, eventually changed overnight, but they pulled out right before. They gave up before. It's so many different combinations and scenarios and moving pieces in a situation when it comes to financial wealth building, I should say. So this is calling you to change. If you don't change something, right, then nothing will change. So changing the way that you do things, changing maybe the risk that you take, changing your perspective on things, but most importantly, gaining the courage to step out on faith. This is what this is calling you to do. Okay. Even in the face of uncertainty, just know that it could lead to great benefits. Okay. Next week, though, is pivotal for someone. Next week is very, yeah, next week is very significant for someone as it pertains to change or taking a chance. Okay. Someone here is healing from finances, and I think many of us are. I think, look at the housing market and all of the everything right now. Everything is ridiculous, in price and whatnot now. So there are many of us, a lot of layoffs are happening, right, with this whole transition into AI. So there's a lot of healing, a lot of PTSD people are trying to heal from, you know what I mean, of the recent past. Look at COVID, that shut down a lot of businesses. People are still recovering and recuperating. I know, 5 years. But guess what? It takes a while. Because when you're starting from the bottom, this is not always overnight success, although that can happen. That is an option. That's not everybody's story. If that was everybody's story, the whole world would be the one percenters. Now it would be the one percenters would be the not so lucky. You know what I'm saying? So there's like this surge of energy that's coming through. I feel it. I feel very energized. Like you need to you need to rest so that you can be energized, because when this comes in for you, this is going to take off and you're not going to you're going to wish you could sit down and take a rest, but you're going to be so excited it won't even matter. You know what I'm saying? Trust me, you're not going to miss it, being able to take that nap or whatever, because you're going to love the trade-off. But you need to recuperate, recover. You need to start again, just generating energy by resting and hibernating at this time. And if hibernation means you go quiet and you get creative again, uh, you go quiet and now there's no more writer's block or you know whatever creative blocks, then great, that's what you need. But um, do that for yourself. But this is about healing from past financial issues, you know what I'm saying? Or PTSD from past financial decisions that have been made. So this is also asking you to just continue to do what needs to be done, to do what's best for you, so that you will soon see um, the results that you're seeking. You'll soon see these successful results, right? Yeah. And for someone, you've already been healing has already been underway. You've been undergoing that already, and so now this is your time of coming up. And I tried to get a little bit more into like when will this healing process be, kind of at its peak, or you just kind of be through this so you're ready to move forward. But it just says, let it be a mystery. Okay. And again, because when you start thinking about the future already, like when is this going to happen? When is the money going to come? When is the windfall? When is the business going to just thrive? All of these things, it still puts a little stress on you. And now there's an expectation and you're worrying yourself to death trying to meet that expectation, or waiting for, where I'm getting with this. So I think in the past there's been some miscalculation. You made some investment, you kind of miscalculated how that return was gonna look for you, and it didn't quite come out as anticipated. And this might have been multiple times that this has happened throughout the years. Okay, it could have been a recent gamble that was taken, a recent what are you trying to say? A recent splurge. Like someone splurged recently and did something and you just kind of miscalculated what it would take to do that. Like you had this certain amount set aside to do something, but ended up going way over that budget. You know what I'm saying? So this is about taking responsibility for what has already happened in the past. Okay, learn from that and move on. Don't let it linger. Don't hold on to that. Okay, someone has been having really clever thoughts, clever ideas, especially as it pertains to the arts or creativity. Working on working on projects or on something, but basically the theme here has been learning how to work smarter, not harder. Again, we have so much at our disposal now with AI in the mix. We have, you know, and I guess maybe the question would be, man, how do we reckon with that? How do we make peace with that? Because there's this fear that AI is coming and taking all the jobs, taking over everything. And I think the best way I could answer that, and I remember Sadhguru, who's a well-known yogi. He's on YouTube. He has many videos and whatnot, and I've never, seen him in person, but I do respect and admire him. And every now and again, I'll watch some of the videos of him talking to people, just like in a room like this, and just, breaking down the science. And one of the things that he said was that, what's the difference? What's the Sadhguru? People are asking him, what are we going to do with the AI? And it's, they're taking over everything and all of the things. And he's just like, hey, they don't have blood pumping through their veins. They don't have hearts. They don't have, you know what I'm saying? Their own, it has in a way, like its own mind and thoughts to think like human. They're not human. You know what I mean? They're not human. And so in essence, he was saying they don't have souls. And just to confirm that, I recently watched the new Denzel movie with ASAP Rocky. God, I can't think of the name of this movie right this moment. Um, but the bottom line is there was a scene in the movie where Denzel's character was talking about, saving his company, okay? And at the end of the day, not wanting to sell out to some big corporation who was just going to come and just kind of pimp out the artists and whatnot, and then also just come and start letting AI create all of these things to save money and to stay futuristic and ahead of the game and all of the things. And they're like, okay, well, why does it matter to you? And he's like, because you can really, really, AI make the music? It has no soul. So there again, I just felt like that's very relevant in this situation. You know what I'm saying? We are creative beings. We are beings with souls. So regardless of whatever is happening all around us, at the end of the day, that is what we have that AI doesn't. That is what we have that some people don't even have. You know what I'm saying? Truly, like a real soul. You know what I mean? Um, and I'm just gonna leave that there. But just focus on the basics at the basics, excuse me, at this time. Sometimes you got to get back to the basics. Get back to the. There was a company. I have to say this. I don't know why. It's just I got to say these things. There was a company, and this woman. It's a black-owned bakery, and she basically started. I can't remember some small place, but she started from her home, and it's $1 million business now that she started because she needed to pay her mortgage. She had her last $5. She went to go buy some baking goods, some cake mix, and this and that. She was going to sell some cupcakes and cakes and cookies and stuff, so she could make the money for her mortgage. I don't know if she did that successfully at the time, but I guess it worked out. It wasn't an overnight success. It took like 2 years for her to build, and she just started baking. Didn't know anything about baking, about cakes. But she learned over the years, experimented over the years, and eventually had to probably buy a bigger oven for the kitchen and all of the things. And she started out by giving away a lot of shit for free. A lot of samples for free and getting orders here and there, a dozen here, 2 dozen there, this and that. But it took about 2 years and she grew that business. Next thing you know, she was getting orders for weddings or just whatever, but bigger corporation or corporate meetings, whatever. But 2 years. Can you imagine? 2 years may not seem like a really long time. It's 24 months, but when you're going through the shit and when your money is funny, it's not right, when you constantly putting in the work, your blood, sweat, and tears, and you're just breaking even, like that's a long fucking time. Barely make your mortgage, or I'm making it, but damn, barely, and I still owe some next month. I gotta put together with this month. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a long time to be in the struggle. Everybody ain't got the tenacity, the perseverance to hang on. Okay? So this is about being very clever. This is about hanging on. This is about believing, having faith, getting back to the basics. And this woman had no website or nothing. She's like, or at least she didn't do like the marketing thing like most people. She said, my marketing was hand to hand. And to this day, I don't think anything has changed. Eventually, she took that same model and she moved, I want to say to New Orleans, but anyway, she moved to another state, opened up another bakery, and because she had made $1 million business here, whatever this state was, she just assumed that it was going to catch a fire in this other state and be just as popular. But no, it took another 2 years to build that business into $1 million bakery because nobody knew who she was out in that state. She was only known in this state. So do you see what I'm saying? Even as a millionaire or $1 million business, you can still go somewhere and have to get back to the basics. And when I say that, I'm just saying she was like, no, I didn't do any marketing online or none of this YouTube and social media stuff. I had to get out there and meet and greet people, talk to people, give out free samples. That was my marketing. So sometimes less is more. And believe it or not, we're coming into times where there's so much overkill with social media and media marketing that people don't even realize that they're yearning for that old school, back to the basics, person to person, meet and greet, shake your hand, come and have a cup of coffee with me and taste some of the, you know what I mean? People don't even realize that they miss that. Matter of fact, that our generation of children, some of our children and their children don't even know it ever existed. The closest they get to that is, the line at Costco to get some free food or something. And I always, and me, I'm call me bougie, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't like doing that. Like, let me go taste some free, you know, you know. Unless I'm like, oh, let me taste it because that looks like it might be good, and I actually might actually go and get some of that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not just walking around. Anyway, I'm getting off topic, but you know what I'm saying. So that's get back to the basics. Okay, keep it simple. Less is more. Okay, somebody has some travel time. That's And this is probably traveling for business. There's like opportunity for you in travel for business. Maybe in this new career, it might cause you to travel even more, this new thing. But this could also be just you. Again, with this hibernation energy, this could be you taking some time off. Maybe that's your hibernation. Let me go on vacation. Like I need a break. I need to just a different, scenery, all of the things so that I can just quiet my mind, get back to the drawing board, get back to the basics. Okay. I wanted to know about the time that this could be happening. And so, someone could be attending a seminar, some type of a training or something to enhance your skills in something. Yeah, but there's travel time. This could be for some of you as soon as December. For others of you, this is in the future, a little bit further in the future, because, of course, this is about you changing, maybe getting into this new career. So whether the opportunity has come to you or not, it depends on where you're at right now in this energy. Okay, so it'll be a little bit in the future. And again, like I said, sometimes when you're waiting on something, hibernating, it just feels like time is kind of frozen, like it's kind of stuck. you know. But I do see something coming up here for sure next year in August. Um, and I just feel like this is just coming from a place of someone just feeling like it was never going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So whether it's happening in December, whether it's happening in August of next year, you know, whatever time it comes, it's like it's right on time. You know what I'm saying? Because this is someone who thought that, you know, it was never going to happen. I was never going to get this opportunity, or, you know, you kind of just, I feel like you were just kind of almost at the breaking point, you know, the give up point. Things have been unsteady in the past, but, you know, do not fret. Um, I know things have been wobbly. I know they've been challenging. We just talked about that. However, this is in the past, okay? It's been unsteady in the past, and I know that can cause, again, PTSD, but I, I, I almost want to say I promise you. That's not coming from me. That's a promise from universe. Like things are changing. Things are changing. Someone also might be taking classes at this time or studying up, maybe workshops. You could just be utilizing the resources at hand, whether it's reading up on something, whether it's binge watching, you know, taking crash courses, or watching and researching from Google and YouTube and wherever. But again, someone is leveling up here. You know, it's never too late to learn more about your craft. You know, just kind of you're just in this space of just feeling like you want to absorb everything that you can. You know what I'm saying? Just get as much knowledge as you can. Now, this may not be coming up around for you until about April, or maybe April could be the time where you be finished up with this energy. Okay. Yeah, April, and then it also says next summer. So that sounds like that could be a semester, like a training or a course that starts in spring and ends in summer, which is about right. Right? Okay, so let's look into the purpose, your life purpose. Your angels are supporting you at this time. They're guiding and protecting you at your dreams as your dreams become a reality. Okay, so this is about your heart's desires. Instead of worrying, ask for divine guidance. Okay, talk to your angels and your angel guides. They are here to listen. In fact, they can't even help you unless you ask for help. They're not supposed to intervene with our free will. And so ask your angels for help so that they can assist you um, immediately. You know what I'm saying? Faster. Okay. Your life purpose involves your skills of oration. So, yeah, I mean, someone here is maybe called to teach what you know, to talk about what you know. Your innate ability to create things or create brings you a deep sense of accomplishment. So, again, this could be creating content, creating courses, creating, you know, like I said, courses or classes or something that is going to help others, right? Maybe even creating speeches for others who do this, you know what I mean? But may not just be great at speaking. I don't know, something like that. And again, travel. This is the second time this has come up in this reading. So travel is definitely on the horizon, and this is part of your purpose to be able to travel here and there to speak, to teach, to be creative for other people or help others with creativity. Okay? Or help others with their business or help others with whatever, you know what I mean? Their desires. So those are the things that came up for you. Let me just check bottom of the deck real quick. Hmm. Your career brings fairness and protection to others who need your help. That's the message for someone. Okay. All right, guys. Well, that's it and that's all for this reading. Things are looking up. Things are looking up. Congratulations. Congratulations. You stood the test of times. You've gotten here. You didn't give up. You didn't give up. And so change is on the horizon. And remember, for some of you, this is as quickly as next week. Okay. So again, in all you're getting, get understanding. Remember that love is the highest vibration of all. Love brings change. And until next time, I wish you optimal levels of health, wealth, and abundance. All right, guys, wholeness.